So this is a re-upload of the last video. I've come across some small complications on the people that I've shown in my last video. To start off, I would like to take back what I said and apologize to the people that I've mentioned at the 550 mark, the people across the street. One of the guys in that group, Nico, have messaged me privately and told me that I actually made a mistake on their crew. Now, I'm going to be frank, I've only been in the sneaker game for about 1.5 years, so I haven't really been embedding myself in the Toronto sneaker community, especially because a lot of my cops and a lot of the drops that I've bought are online. That being said, I was naive in believing what people told me in the line. I was told in the line that these people across the street were infiltrators and line cutters, but that turns out not to be the case whatsoever. And it also has come to my attention that I've actually never seen them cutting in front of the line in the bunch of people that was at the front of the line when that whole stuffing situation happened. From what I was told from the message with Nico, that him and his squad are actually forces against line cutting and against line hopping. I do not want to use my YouTube channel as a way to spread negativity, especially to those people who do not deserve it whatsoever. So for Nico, Curtis, Paul, Mark, Alan, Andrew, and Lum, I'm completely sorry for doing this to you guys. You guys have made yourself clear, and I'm super sorry I spread the wrong message about you guys. You guys are definitely a part of the positive sneaker community in Toronto. And hopefully I'll be able to see you guys in the next sneaker releases. To further prove that these guys aren't just bluffing to me, I actually went and saw another vlogger in Toronto. His name is Curtis C. He actually had a vlog of one of the guys in his video that was across the street. I think it was Alan. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to pronounce her name. Sorry, I'm butchering it. But he was interacting with him and he seemed like a really chill guy. So he definitely doesn't seem like one of those guys who were line hopping. So I'm completely sorry for doing this to you guys. I'm going to be putting Curtis's vlog in the description box below. And I hope that you guys can watch it because at the 7-minute mark, you can really see what happens in that video. Okay, so now that this is out of the way, the original intent of this video has not been skewed and has not lost its own values. It still has that intent of showing the community and the world what Toronto sneaker line hopping is kind of like. And it's just absurd, and I hope that this video will still be able to provide that positivity that the sneaker community has won on that day during the Haven Triple Black Uncaged UltraBoost drop. One last thing, because I am actually recreating this video, original video, to you guys, I'm actually going to be pushing back one more day of the Uncaged UltraBoost review, so hopefully you guys can look forward to that, and I'll be putting that out tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Okay, you help somebody else try to get a pair that's not supposed to get a pair, then you don't get a pair either, so leave the fucking line.
So for today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about the justice that was served while trying to grab one of these. It's going to be a little bit of like a story time, so if you're not into the stories, just click away. If you guys follow me on Twitter at Billyvisuals, you would see the updates of what happened during the Haven drop in Toronto. To put some context on the Toronto lining up for sneakers and how people do it. So essentially, the first time I ever lined up for a shoe was for the Kith Tubular Dooms. And the thing is, from what I've experienced, there's like a couple of methods on like how to prepare yourself for lining up, and then there's a couple of methods on how to cheat a lineup. There are some methods that are like understandable, but there's some methods that are just completely outrageous. So what happened was, the first time I ever lined up for shoes was for the Kith Tubular Dooms. They were dropping at a store and people were lining up with their chairs. So what happened is, the store front was facing a road. This is the storefront, and then the road is here, and then there's these chairs that were empty, and you would think that these chairs had people there, and they did. So what happened is, they would have a car, and these 4 people, or whoever the heck was in the front, not sitting in the negative like 23-degree weather, you would basically be just sitting in your car getting warm. And then there's other people who are genuine standing in the line. And I get that you want to get out of the cold. That doesn't necessarily mean that you wait there and like in your car. At least have one person taking shifts every now and then. Because taking shifts at least make it more fair than these guys just waiting outside in the cold. So that's method number 1, which is waiting in the car. Method number 2, and this is the more outrageous one. This is called ghost chairs. People would have chairs here, no car, no person whatsoever, but no one would stand up and say anything, and these chairs would actually count as people. So I get that you can go get food or go get something and come back. But you can't be more than like half an hour away from your chair, because these chairs basically put you in a spot. So what's the point in lining up? So these people would just put their chair there, and there's going to be these people who are angry at these motherfuckers who just put their chair there for no good reason. Sorry, I'm horrible with this pen right now. I'm just not trying. Hold on. Method number 3 is the worst of them all. So let's say you have one ghost chair, right? You count like this. Let's say this guy counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in front of this guy, right? So let's say there's only like 7 pairs of shoes. There's like 5 chairs in front of them. I get it. But then sometimes it's not just 5 chairs for 5 people. Actually, a lot of the times nowadays. So for method number 3, it's called stuffing. So what happens is you have one chair, but you bring a whole gang of people, 5, 6 people. Okay, I'm just gonna call it stuffing. I'm making these names up as I go. Okay, but this is essentially what I've seen and what I've experienced from like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different lineups that I've done already. So stuffing is basically you get one chair and you have 5 guys coming. So what happens? This guy not only sees 5 chairs anymore, he sees 10 guys in front of him when it's about to open. And that's just not fair. Like, that is just outrageous. So at the Haven drop, I saw ghost chairs around 6 a.m. I'm just gonna pull up the video so I can watch it here. So basically I'm just filming the entrance of Haven. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I mean, there's people standing around, so I don't really know who's in their front. So another method that people usually do to tackle this problem is to make lists. So as long as you've seen them once, you make a list of names on who's the first person. And if people know around and they have names, then that's okay. Like, honestly, as long as you have names who is in the front and you know that they're going to get coffee or they're going to get something, then the lineup is a little bit more legitimate than not, right? Because you can't just sit there and like shit and piss in that one spot. You got to go out and take breaks. So anyways, this is 6 a.m. status, and there's a lot of people here. And then there's one guy who came up with a list. He said there's 37 people in front of him, that he has names, he knows who's in front of him, and if there's anyone who stuffs in front, those guys are not going to get in. So that makes sense. I'm happy about that. 6 a.m. is when I started, and 11 a.m. is when the store opens. So that's already quite a long time, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 hours of lining up in the cold, right? The thing is, it's like the sneaker culture has a lot of money in it. And I get that there's a lot of money because of the rarity and the collection. And it becomes to a point where, like, if you're going to do it for the money, at least do it legitimately. Don't do it so that you're going to fucking, like, take away chances for people who actually had passionately lined up there and was going to get the shoe and, like, not get the shoe because you just injected yourself in there. Like, that's just rude. Like, I feel like that shouldn't happen whatsoever. So then what happened was, a lot of these people who were lining up when I showed you in that video earlier, they're actually really legitimate. They took a lot of photos of all these people, and then comes this part, okay? And that guy with the blue beanie, and that guy with the red shirt, and that guy with the yellow beanie, they're all the infiltrators. They're the people who are going to go inside this line in front of everyone who lined up for over 5, 6, maybe even 12 hours before this time, which is like around 9 a.m., to infiltrate in front of the line and basically cut in front of everyone. These guys are big guys. Like, a lot of people have been telling me that this is not the first time these guys have gotten into this situation. They actually tried to do this multiple times, and they've been successful because they're scary. They have this aura of like, oh shoot, if I don't let them in, they might like attack me or hurt me. Basically, that guy, he pulls out the gate, and then he slowly, like, he just pulls out the gate right there. And you see the guy, red shirt guy, he climbs into behind the gate. There's a bunch of people here. They're all gonna cut in front of the line. Like, these people lined up all night long to try to get this shoe. And all you're gonna do is threaten people bring macho people, like bodyguard looking people, to just cut in front of the line. So what happened was a lot of people tweeted to Haven, a lot of people tweeted to Adidas. Like, people were furious. Like, this is just not right. So what happened was the Haven manager, the guy with the black bomber and a black beanie, or toque, basically saw this guy with a tan shirt and a tan hat. He's a hero. Like, he took a picture and video of everyone that just snuck themselves in to the line. They have a camera, they looked at everyone, they knew who the faces were coming in, and they get picked up. People who are in right now are getting picked up.
Okay, you help somebody else try to get a pair that's not supposed to get a pair, then you don't get a pair either. So leave the fucking line. Oh, it's 4 females.
Kind of.
I'm so happy. This is real justice happening to the line. Because a lot of people said that these people have done this before. I've personally never seen this before. But the people, I've seen smaller groups, like 5 people, 6 people. No one really talks about this. But this is incredible. There's like 50 people just stuffing themselves in front of the line. And that's just insane. So I'm so happy that this happened.
Kind of.
So if you see, so another thing is, the infiltrators, they actually hired a lot of students. Like, I'm talking about not students, like young teens, like preteens. I'd say they're 13, 14, maybe even 12. And these people, okay, they hired them, paid them money to be a part of this infiltration group to get a pair of the shoe so that they can sell it. I understand that you want money, okay? But this is not right. You should not be exploiting little kids to be working for you for this kind of cause. Like, this is stupid. Like, the sneaker culture is not meant to be like this. And you guys are ruining it by doing this very thing. I get that there's money in the shoe. Do it for yourself. Don't hire little kids to do this dirty work for you. This is stupid. This should not happen whatsoever. Like, these little kids right there, those people are not supposed to be there whatsoever. And there's also people who paid these bodyguards to put themselves into the line in order to grab the shoe. I'm so glad they fought it. It was just like a heroic moment for us. Before the managers came, I even spoke up and I said, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys doing this? This is so unfair. Just line up from the back of the line. And people were holding me back because they're saying, don't do this because you don't want to have a fight because it will just end up being a raffle. They were right, because that's what happened with the NMD lineup. These people were butting, these were cutting, and then they started having a fight, and then they just cut the thing, and then they just had a raffle instead of first come, first serve. Now, the reason why I said that is because there was a time in this whole thing where someone said that those people who were fighting the infiltrators or fighting the people said that they were going to get jacked or jumped for their shoe. And obviously, it's just a shoe for me. I don't want to get jumped for a shoe. I was worried, but I'm so glad it was just a bluff, or else you would have never seen me make this video. And I'm so glad that people who legitimately lined up for the shoe was able to grab the shoe. And I know I could have made this video a bit better in terms of like actually vlogging it on my camera, but all I had was my phone and I didn't have anything else to film. I totally forgot to bring my point and shoot to film this whole lineup. But I'm still happy that I'm still able to reciprocate this whole thing to you guys. The most interesting part to see, and I like to see this a lot, is like the people who bought the shoe quickly wear it on their feet and rock them and walk away. Like this guy right here, when he put on feet, that solidified it to me that this shoe right here is just straight fire. Like, this shoe is so nice. Yeah, I really like this shoe because it just has so much more style to the shoe than it is a normal triple black UltraBoost. I'm going to talk more about this shoe in another video because this video is already way too long. I already shot it today, so hopefully that video will come up tomorrow and this video will come out tonight. So anyways, I know this video was long. Sorry if you guys didn't really enjoy it. I hope I explained clearly on what happened and how this was one of the most intense lineups I've ever been to. and hopefully in the future people won't do this again.